Hi everyone, welcome into the Divine Feminist by Turning Tides Tarot. Thank you all so very much for being here. You are all freaking amazing. My name is Alicia, and I am super excited. We're going to pull a spread today. We're just going to see what comes up. But before we get into that, actually, I want to just do a little bit of a reminder because I feel like today we are so close to hitting that 1,000 subscriber goal, and I still have 3 of these instant oracle card packs to get into the mail. So this is the last chance, I believe, for you to enter. And I've got a question. But first, I guess I should show you what this is. It's like a scratch off oracle message. Okay, so if you've already entered, cool, you could get another chance to do so. To enter into the giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel here, okay, and then pop your answer to my question in the comments, right? And then once we hit 1,000, I will go ahead and enter all of your names into the draw for the instant oracle. Today's question is, while I'm shuffling, so I'll give you a moment to connect. If you could instantly master any skill or talent, what would it be? Let me know in the comments, okay? And that's today's question. What would it be if you could instantly master any skill or talent? Okay, I'm just interested to see what y'all would do. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm just seeing what wants to come up for our beautiful collective today. If you're done writing your comment, or if you have a little bit of time while I'm shuffling, you can always hit that like button. You can always hit the like button to connect to the reading here. So let's see what's coming out. The King of Wands, the Page of Swords. Ooh, okay, we have the High Priestess. Interesting to see the Three of Swords coming out here. I'm just going to get another row and an overall vibe. I hope you all are having an amazing day. Okay, we have the Emperor. Oops. The Ace of Pentacles. Then we have the Queen of Wands. Okay, so we've got a divine pair out. And then we have the Moon. Okay, overall, let's see. Ooh, the Five of Pentacles. Interesting. Now, usually these readings are centered around the feminine at the very least. They're meant to be encouraging messages for you and your glow up. But sometimes we do see more than one person showing up in the reading. Okay, so I'm going to tune into this and pull out the messages from Spirit. Okay, I'm just going to adjust this for a minute because it's a little, yeah, that's better. Okay. Right, so what's coming through for you today? It's kind of interesting to me because before I even, laid the cards down, right, we asked for our little giveaway question. If you could instantly master any skill or talent, what would it be? Okay. And now here we are with the King and Queen of Wands staring right back at us, okay? And these two, I mean, they are the definition of talented and gifted and creative and magnetic, right? It's the kind of energy that just owns the room. So I'm already feeling like Spirit's probably nudging you to lean into what you do best, all right? Or maybe even start developing something that you've been secretly wanting to try. So you may have already given yourself a little hint in the comments. But yeah, let's continue. And I want to be super clear, right? I did mention it a little bit already, but sometimes with the King and Queen of the same suit, right? It usually gives off that relationship energy. And for some of you, yeah, it could be pointing to a counterpart or someone really matching your fire, okay? But often, especially on this channel and for our collective, this is about you really owning both sides of your own power, okay? So that bold and visionary leadership kind of vibe we get with the king, okay? And then the passionate, radiant magnetism of the queen, right? You don't really have to wait for anyone to come in and complete you because you are the whole package here. So I like to see that as well. And we move on to the Page of Swords here. and the High Priestess, okay? And I kind of love this combo, to be real, because this is you watching and learning and picking up new information, but kind of doing it quietly. So you're not really broadcasting every move that you make right now to the whole friggin' world, okay? You might not even be posting on your socials or anything like that. I feel like if you've got a project or an idea or a goal simmering away in the background, you're in this mode of like, let me gather my intel before I make a move, okay? And that's cool, right? Maybe you're studying a new craft or deep diving into some research, or even just, paying closer attention to how people in your field operate, okay, or in your career, or you're just really in this gathering information mode right now. And the High Priestess is saying, like, trust your gut, of course, always, when you know that you've learned enough to act on what it is that you've learned, okay? You don't really have to overthink anything to death. And again, I find it a little bit interesting, like I said already, to see the Three of Swords showing up in this reading. But it is telling me, I feel like for some of you, there has been, of course, there's been disappointment or heartbreak, but it's kind of something that has shaped how you're going after your goals now. All right. You've learned from the pain. Okay. And you've realized, who and what is really worth your time and energy and effort. And I don't feel like you're about to pour yourself into situations or people who can't really show up for you. Okay. Honestly, I feel like it's very powerful. Pain's not pretty, but it is a teacher. Okay. Now, looking at the bottom row here, we have the Emperor, the Ace of Pentacles. And this is like long-term stability energy, right? This is you building something from the ground up that is going to last. So think about your dream home, or a business you're really proud of, or a role where you're really respected, okay? And maybe in your field, right? It's not overnight success. This is like slow, steady, and solid, committed kind of success and energy here. And when we're pairing that with the Queen of Wands and the Moon, I feel like you've got this confidence and charisma to make it happen. But the Moon kind of says that, the path isn't really clear yet. It might not have fully been revealed to you what next steps you might have to take, right? You might not see exactly how it's all going to unfold. And for now, that's okay, right? The Moon is really about trusting the next step will appear, even if you can't really see the whole staircase, okay? And it's interesting to see again with the overall vibe being the Five of Pentacles. I mean, listen, like this could be about coming out of a season where you felt maybe unsupported or left out in the cold, whether it's financially or emotionally or even socially, okay? This energy here is really saying that the more you lean into your skills, your gifts, and the things that really light you up, the more you pull yourself into this warm, abundant space, okay? Again, not waiting for someone else to come in and save you. You're really creating your own safety net with this energy, okay? So I feel like the nudge for today, or the message coming in from Spirit for you today, is to stop doubting the talents and dreams that you've been keeping tucked away, right? Pick one and start. Even if it's messy, okay? Even if you don't know all the steps, even if you don't know what you're doing just yet. I mean, you're the King and Queen of Wands here. And so, this really means you're the visionary and the muse, okay? You're all rolled into one amazing package. And that is really unstoppable energy, okay? It really is. Now, for some of you, like I said, I really try to keep the focus on our collective for these readings on this channel. But for some of you, you may also wind up coming across somebody who, again, matches your energy. But I feel like it's going to be through the pursuit of this new endeavor. Okay, so I'm not against love in these messages coming through, not at all, but I don't feel like that is necessarily the focus of this reading, okay? And the message that wants to come out to you. But I do have a couple more questions that I want to get into now that we know what the message is. And I'm actually going to pull from another deck for this. Okay, first of all, I want to know what untapped talent or gift is ready to take, center stage in your life right now. Now, again, it could be what you have already answered in the comment section. Could be, I think it's so cool that I was not planning for this to happen. I was not planning for this message to match the question. I was just thinking about something fun. and then the reading came out to kind of encourage you, it's kind of cool that happened. I love seeing how these things unfold. This is part of the joy of being a tarot reader. It never ceases to amaze me how this ends up coming through. But anyways, what untapped talent or gift is ready for you or ready to take center stage in your world, in your life? Okay, we have Temperance. We have the Six of Pentacles. I'll pull one more and we'll get the bottom. Okay. Oh, we have Death. Interesting. And we have the Knight of Cups there. Okay, let's see what this is trying to tell you. Okay, so let's get into these talents and, gifts, right, that are ready to shine in your life right now. And it's almost like they're saying, okay, I'm done sitting on the shelf. It's my turn to come out now. And starting with Temperance, this is, it's an energy all about balance and creating harmony out of opposite things, okay, out of opposites. It is a gift of really knowing how to take two, again, very different things and mix them into something beautiful. It's kind of like this natural born chef. I'm seeing a chef who just, how they know like what flavors kind of just go together, okay, just naturally. Or maybe even like a musician who can like blend genres into something fresh and new, okay? So in real life, this could show up as a talent for problem solving as well, like in a way that really satisfies everyone at the table. So that could be, in a work meeting or a family situation, or even just planning, a perfect road trip with your besties so that every person in the car is happy. Okay, so it's like a mediator kind of energy here. Temperance is also the gift of patience, right? So the ability to see like the long game and really not rush the entire process, which is rare, and it is incredibly valuable to have that ability, right? You may have been like a peacekeeper in some type of way too, or maybe that's something that you're just naturally really good at, okay? And then with the Six of Pentacles, this is the energy of generosity and exchange, right? So your untapped talent might be tied to giving in a way that really creates a real impact, and really knowing, again, how to balance that giving with receiving. So some of you are natural teachers, mentors, healers, okay? The kind of people who can really lift others up without burning yourself out, okay? This could be, you might have a skill in coaching or counseling, or running like a community project where resources are flowing in and out, like, you're getting a lot of money coming in, money going out, donations, that kind of thing. Maybe you have a gift for making complicated things simple so others can learn, okay? That's kind of like teaching, but I feel like you just know how to connect people with exactly the right opportunities, right? So this energy says that your value is in the way you share what you have, okay? And whether that's knowledge or money or time or energy, you're really good at it. Like, you're really good at it. And now Death, like I said, it's kind of interesting. It tells me that part of your gift is tied to transformation, right? You might have a knack for guiding people or even yourself, okay, through endings and into new beginnings, right? You could be someone who helps others reinvent themselves after a divorce or a career change or a major loss even, right? Maybe your talent is in rebranding, like taking something tired and outdated and giving it a fresh life. Think of someone who like renovates a rundown house and turns it into a dream home, or a hairstylist, right? It's like makeover energy. Someone who can completely change someone's entire vibe with, just the right cut and color. So, death says that you have the power to help others and, of course, yourself too, shed old versions of themselves or old skin, and help step into a brand new chapter. Under the deck, we do have the Knight of Cups, and that is the dreamer, the romantic, the creative energy, right? It's kind of like a flair that you bring to everything that you do. So your gift isn't really just in the transformation itself. It's in the beauty and the imagination and the emotional connection, right, that you weave into it. So you might write poetry that heals people's hearts, or design clothes, that really make someone feel like their best self, okay? You could create art, music, or even social media content that touches people on a deeper level, okay? To sum it up, your untapped gift, is a blend of patience and wisdom and generosity and reciprocity and transformative power and a creative heart. Okay, so in the real world, this could look like, I just got a couple of ideas here that what this could look like for you, and you can let me know if this is something that you're already doing. Okay, because some of you might be in these positions for your path, right? On your path, I should say. Like a holistic health coach, okay, where maybe you're blending nutrition and movement and mindset work. You could be a mediator, like I said, or a negotiator who can really turn any kind of conflict into cooperation. Maybe a teacher or a mentor who knows, when to guide and when to step back as well. Maybe a creative entrepreneur launching a business that really helps people transform their lives. Definitely we're picking up on artists, okay? There's another, I usually don't use the deck at all because I'm not a huge fan of Aleister Crowley. I'm just not. But in the Thoth Tarot, I believe he switched temperance into art. Okay, that's what it would be in the Thoth Tarot, and then the Golden Dawn system anyways. But that's a whole entire other conversation that I really talking about right now, but it is connected to art, taking something and turning it into something else. It's the alchemy energy. So of course, artists, right? Artists for sure. Maybe a designer or maybe a performer, okay, whose work really shifts the way people see themselves or the world, okay? So basically the energy here is saying that, it's not just a side talent anymore. I feel like there's something here really ready to take a lead role in your life. And if you combine temperance, patience, and Six of Pentacles, generosity, the transformation of death, and the creativity of the Knight of Cups, it feels like you're really unstoppable here with this kind of energy. Okay, it's really quite cool. So I have another question, and I want to know where Spirit's asking you to lead boldly instead of waiting for permission. Here we have Justice. Here we have the Eight of Cups, the Tower, okay, and the King of Pentacles, and then we also have the Star, and I'm taking it because I feel like it's part of this message. All right, let me tune right into this. All right, so I feel like this question is really going to close us out for this reading, to be honest with you, because we're asking, of course, we've already asked where Spirit is really asking you to lead boldly instead of waiting for permission. And with Justice, the Eight of Cups, and the Tower, I feel like it's huge, right? Spirit's asking you to stand in your truth, even if it shakes things up, right? Justice is about making the choice that's right for you, not just a choice that keeps everyone else comfortable. The Eight of Cups, this says it's time to walk away from what no longer feeds your soul. And yeah, I mean, sometimes That means stepping out of roles, right? Or relationships or routines that felt once, maybe they once felt safe, but now it feels more like they're holding you back. And then with the tower, I mean, that is your permission slip to stop waiting for the perfect time to make a change. The tower says that, the moment you lead with your truth, the old and false foundations and structures, in your life will fall away naturally. And that's a really good thing. So it's not like destruction just for destruction's sake. It's really clearing the way for something stronger and something real and something that can actually hold the weight of the life that you are building. Now, the energy under the deck is honestly, it's gorgeous. Like I said, I couldn't ignore the star here. But with the King of Pentacles, I feel like this is where all of today's messages come together. Like the King of Pentacles energy, it's basically letting you know that you have the ability to create lasting stability and success. Okay, not just financially, but of course it is money, right, with the King of Pentacles. But you're also in your sense of self and your home life and your security overall, right? You are capable of being that grounded, right? You're capable of being a reliable force in your own world. And the star, I mean, that's your reminder that there's hope, there's healing, there's a bigger vision for your life than you ever even imagined yet, right? It's a wish coming true kind of energy as well, but it is through the healing that you actually align with those deepest desires in your soul. So I feel like your takeaway here today is that Spirit's not asking you to wait for the right conditions. Spirit's basically asking you to be the right conditions here, to lead with integrity, walk away when your soul says no more, and let the false things in your world fall away, and basically just trust that you're completely capable of building something beautiful and stable on the other side of everything here. So it's really your moment to stop asking for permission, and start acting like the leader of your own life. And when you do, the King of Pentacles stability and the star, that sense of divine purpose, that is exactly where you're headed. Okay. What a beautiful message coming through today. It really is. So if you did connect with it, please, you can let me know in the comments, or if you like my vibe and you love these kinds of readings, don't be shy to hit that subscribe button. And do remember that if you want to be entered, you've got into the contest, the giveaway. You have to subscribe, and you had to have answered the question. What would you do if you could instantly master any skill or talent? Okay, what would it be? And then maybe even re-listen to this if you feel called to do so as a reminder at any time. You can always save it, especially if you like the readings. I don't know if you know, but once you like a reading, it goes into a playlist you can check out later, your liked videos on YouTube. So real easy stuff. Anyways, I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you for being here, and I will be back in the next reading. Take care, loves.